Falcons' 2022 opponents are officially out, but what will the schedule look like? I'll answer that question coming up next.
Welcome to Atlanta where the Falcons play, and we going for that dub like every day. Big beats hit the streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
What's good, YouTube? It's Down Falcons and here back with another video, and welcome back to Falcons Talk Season 4, Episode 2, where I'll be predicting what the Falcons schedule will look like for the 2026 season. This is not the official schedule. It is something that I made completely on my own. So I hope you guys enjoy. And without further ado, let's begin with Week 1, where I predict the Falcons will hit the road and take on the Cleveland Browns. Arguably a tough way to open the season. The last time Atlanta went to Cleveland was back in 2018, and that ended in a 28-16 loss. And overall, the Browns lead the series 12-4. So history is definitely not on Atlanta's side here. Cleveland plays a physical brand of football, and opening on the road against a team like that means you don't get a warm-up game. You have to be ready immediately. And add in the Kevin Stefanski homecoming angle, and this becomes one of those tone-setting games extremely early, where we find out how tough and mentally prepared the team will be. Moving on to Week 2, we are at home against the San Francisco 49ers. We come back home for the first time this season, this time against San Francisco. This one has a completely different feel to it, because the series is tied 5-5 all time. And the last time Atlanta hosted the 49ers was in 2022, where they actually won 28-14. So there is some recent success to build on. But at the same time, the 49ers are known for being one of the most complete teams in the league when they are healthy, physical, disciplined, and well coached. And it's another homecoming. This time it's Raheem Morris, the defensive coordinator of the 49ers, and also the former head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. So this also doesn't become just a game. It's an early measure to see how Atlanta stands. When foes come back to visit you, you have to be prepared. Next up, we have Week 3 against the Chicago Bears at home again. The last time we hosted the Chicago Bears was in 2022, where we beat them 27-24. And what will be the last time we will wear those gradient jerseys, which in my opinion were my favorite jerseys out of the 2020 jersey set. Speaking of, these jerseys are officially gone permanently as the Falcons acquired new jerseys. I'll speak on that on a different video. But going back here, the gradients were amazing, and on top of that, Cordell Patterson, the fan favorite Falcon Wild running back, he achieved his lifelong dream of getting the 9th kickoff touchdown return, the most in NFL history. A historic moment for him, and something that he will likely remember for years to come. Chicago leads the all-time series 16-14, so it's been competitive, but slightly tilted their way. And for the third straight time, we have a homecoming. This time, it's Grady Jarrett, the former Falcon, arguably one of the greatest Falcons of all time. And this will become an emotional game where focus and discipline are going to matter for 60 minutes. Next up, we have our first division game on the road against Tampa Bay. Week 4, you hit the road for Tampa. Now you're in division play. These matchups are always intense because both teams know each other so well. There's no surprise or no secrets. It all comes down to execution, situations football, and who handles pressure better. Being on the road, it makes it even tougher because momentum swings bigger, and every mistake is amplified. So, with the Buccaneers, the last time we visited them, we ended up winning. So, will that happen again? We'll see. Next up is another road game, Week 5 at the Commanders. Atlanta heads to Washington in what has quietly become a very familiar matchup. This is basically the sixth straight season these teams have played against each other, and you could say they're division foes because we've been playing them for six straight seasons. The last time the Falcons went to Washington was Week 17 of 2024, and they lost 30 to 24 in overtime. Historically, Washington leads the series 19-11 to 1. So this is a matchup where Atlanta has been on the wrong side often more than not. And with both teams knowing each other so well, this turns into more of a strategic battle, adjustments, tendencies, and execution under pressure. Next up, we're at home hosting the Cincinnati Bengals, and we will be sporting the throwbacks, the red helmets, for the first time this year. So you're at home hosting Cincinnati, and this comes with some style and some pressure. The throwback uniform with the red helmets. The last time these teams met back in Atlanta was in 2018, and it was a 1-point loss, 37-36. And overall, the Bengals lead the series 10-5. Cincinnati is known for having an explosive offense, so this becomes a game about pace and control. Can Atlanta match that energy while staying disciplined? The throwbacks bring the vibe, but the execution has to be on point. We're now in week 7, and we hit the road and take on our division foe, our most hated rival, the team down in the toilet state. And honestly, you don't need to stand for this one. This rivalry is always emotional, always physical, and always intense. Being on the road just adds another layer because the crowd, the noise, and the energy is always there. And you always know how it's going to be between the Falcons and that other team. It's always going to be a dogfight. So as always, screw the Aints. We're always going to beat them. Next, week 8 versus the Lions. And we have our first primetime game of the year on Thursday Night Football in the Throwbacks. Week 8, Detroit comes to LA for Thursday Night Football. And now you're dealing with a short week. The last time the Falcons fought the Lions was back in 2021 where they won 20-16. But historically, Detroit leads the series 26-14. So this hasn't been Atlanta's strongest matchup over time. The Thursday Night Football game or primetime in general, they're always tricky. Led for position, more unpredictability, so this becomes a test of how quickly the Falcons can adjust and execute during a short span. After that, we have a mini bye week and move on to week 9, where we visit the Pittsburgh Steelers. On the road, this is one of the toughest historical matchups on the schedule. The Steelers lead the series 16-1. They won 16, lost 2, and tied once. And the last time Atlanta was there, ended in a blowout, 41-17 loss. Pittsburgh's style of play, physical, disciplined, and consistent. And that's what makes it hard to beat them, especially in their territory. So this is not about winning a game, it's trying to flip a long-standing pattern that has not gone Atlanta's way. Then it's week 10, and we have our international game in Berlin, where we will be hosting the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the biggest stages of the season. And the last time Atlanta hosted the Chiefs was in 2024, where they lost 22-7. And that game is still remembered for the missed defensive pass interference on Pitts late in the game. Kansas City leads the series 8-3, so history leans their way. And now you're putting this matchup on an international stage with no true home field advantage, that means composure, execution, and discipline, which will become crucial. So with week 11 coming off international game, you obviously need some rest, which is why I have the Falcons taking their bye week. It comes at a perfect time after a stretch that includes rivalry games, tough run environments, and a global matchup. That gives the teams ample time to rest up, heal, and prepare for the final push of the season. We're now in week 12, coming out the bye, and we host the Carolina Panthers, the team that swept us last season. So at home, and they always bring intensity. And after how things went last season, especially with Bryce Young involved, there's definitely a urge to beat Bryce Young, and being at home helps. But these games are rarely easy. They're physical, emotional, and always comes down to the last minute and very minute details. Then we have back-to-back division games. This time we host our most hated rival, the Aints, but we do it in the throwbacks. Week 13 versus the Aints. This time in the throwbacks, and you know how it is. Every time we wear the throwbacks against the Aints, we beat them. So it's no surprise. So both teams, they have already seen each other once. So adjustments become key. The rivalry already brings intensity, and the throwback uniforms to amplify the energy in the stadium. We swept the Aints last year. Can we do it again? We'll find out soon enough. Then it's on to week 14 at the Vikings. I predict this game will be on Monday Night Football. Minnesota on the road, and again, it's another familiar matchup. This is the third straight year seeing them. The last time Atlanta was there was last season. We won 22-6, so there's a major success. But historically, the Vikings still lead the all-time series, 22-13. So this is another example of recent momentum versus long-term history. Moving on to week 15, where we visit the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. Green Bay, Sunday Night Football, this is where the environment really starts to matter. The last time LA went there was in 2020, where they lost 30-16, and the Packers lead the series 19-17, so it's relatively close historically. When you factor in prime time, cold weather, and Lambeau Field, this becomes a completely different kind of challenge, one where conditions can impact the game just as much as the opponent. It could be a potential snow game, you never know. Then we have week 16 versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At home, second match of the season. At this point, we know what's going to happen. It's going to be a dogfight. We don't need to do much diving into it. So, that's week 16. Hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then we have week 17 versus the Ravens, our final home game. Another tough matchup historically. The Ravens lead the series 5-2, and the last time we hosted them, and a 26-16 loss. And when then you add Lamar Jackson, one of the most dynamic players in the league currently, this becomes a discipline test. Can this pass rush get to Lamar Jackson? We'll find out soon. Then we have week 18, season finale, and we close it off visiting the Carolina Panthers. An easy way to close out the season if the Falcons do it right and don't let Bryce Young walk you over like you did last year. You cannot have a repeat. You cannot let Bryce Young sweep you again. You need to get your get back and beat Bryce Young. So that does it. That's how I feel the schedule will look like from week 1 to week 18. How do you feel? What do you think the schedule will look like? Let me know your schedule prediction in the comment section down below. And that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you are not already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all next time. Peace.